I was just checking out this Kickstarter.
What Kickstarter is that?
Yeah, what Kickstarter is it?
Oh, hey, that's my Kickstarter. We're making a comic book anthology. So myself and 3 other artists. So our Kickstarter is live right now. So if you're interested in seeing that, you can come up get a card at the end.
At Kickstarter.
What should I search?
Easiest to scan the code. I'll tell you more. Except for Phil. Phil, I'll tell specifically because we couldn't get the code to work. Hey, Phaedra, what are we doing?
So this is So You Want to Be a Streamer. So I'm assuming that people here are either streamers or want to be a streamer or have thought about being a streamer. So you have questions on how to be a streamer. So we're going to go down the line and introduce ourselves and, say why we're streamers or, what makes us special. I'm Phaedra Black. I make content across multiple platforms. I haven't streamed in a little bit because life. But like I say, I don't do, but I teach at this point because that just seems to be how it balances out. We do events for local streamers here with Twitch Atlanta. We had a meet and greet earlier today. We'll be doing some stuff at DreamHack. We do stuff at MomoCon. Lots of opportunities to network and meet other people and kind of learn about all the different aspects of streaming.
Hey guys, I'm He Who Is Steve. I create videos on TikTok and YouTube, and I stream on Twitch and YouTube with Botched a D&D podcast every Tuesday, where we do long-form improv comedy live play D&D. That's a mouthful.
Philip D. Keating, known as the Imaginary Nomad on Twitch and YouTube. I stream retro video games and horror video games, and I'm also on Botched, a D&D podcast.
Hi, I'm Swan, or a swan named Emily all across the internet. I'm an artist and a streamer, so I stream art group called The Doodle Crew, which I run, and then we move all those episodes over to YouTube where you can see them. I'm also part of Art Corner, and if you want to find all the other stuff that I do, you can search for Airtime for Nonsense or go to airtimefornonsense.com, and you can see all the other stuff that we do.
Awesome. So we have a lot of different things that are going on here. So one of the first things that always comes to people's mind is, why did you decide to be a streamer? Like, what were you just sitting there one day and go, ooh, that looks like fun? So there's always that one trigger in your life that is just like, I want to do this. So why did you start streaming?
I think I have the same answer as a whole lot of people. COVID happened, and I was very lonely at home by myself and with my cat. Well, my cat had just run away. Anyway, that's not important.
What?
Yeah, she came back. It's great.
Okay,
She's
good.
fine.
That was a roller coaster.
2 years. She's back though. And I just had gotten into a slump where I was at work and I was at home and I wasn't doing anything and I wasn't making anything. And I decided I'm going to start making videos. I'm going to start streaming video games. I'm going to start talking to people and making stuff and putting it out there. And I've become very into creating, writing, making videos, putting stuff out there, entertaining people, and it's been a great outlet, and I highly recommend it.
For me, I started back in 2017, and I'm a big retro video game player and collector, and so there's a lot of these retro games from like the Super Nintendo that I've never played before. So I decided why don't we just get some conversion cables and stuff like that and go through it for the first time with people on Twitch. So that's kind of been my alley, is like going through old games that I have never played, and we all get to experience for the first time together.
Yeah. Mine was also COVID, so I came to DragonCon in 2019 and met the digital media track and found out a whole cool way that you could do all of this stuff. And then because I'm also an art teacher, when COVID happened and we shut down, I now needed a new way to reach out to my students and connect with them. And there was something nice about Twitch where, unlike our Zoom teachings where it was easier to have them on camera and have them try and interact, Twitch was a very passive way where they could still have me, they could tune in when they wanted, they could draw along with me if they wanted, but they didn't have to be as present, and that change in pressure on them seemed to help a lot. And then I missed my art friends more and more, being home alone in my studio. So that was the start of Doodle Crew, as I wanted to draw with my friends. And I convinced a whole bunch of friends who didn't like being on camera and talking on the internet to come and talk to me on the internet and draw at the same time.
And see, my getting started into streaming is totally different because I did it to prove a point. I know you've heard this story, Philip. You think it's funny.
No, it is.
So my ex-husband, and I emphasis on the ex, he was wanting to be a Twitch streamer. He was like, oh yeah, I can do this. But he was one of those people that follows the big streamers where you have to buy all the equipment. I need to spend $800 on a camera. I need to buy the big light. I need to do this, and I'm going to be successful. And I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. He's like, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't even know what you're talking about. I was like, let's have fun with this. So he'd been doing it for a couple years, and that he thought that he would be successful if he got all the equipment. I opened my laptop, hit a button. I used the itty-bitty little camera that was attached to the laptop. I used the microphone that was attached to the laptop. And I was like, see, it's not that hard. I got affiliate in like 2 weeks. He'd been trying to do it for like 4 years.
What, like it's hard?
Yeah, right. He tried to say it was because I had cleavage, but the little camera on your laptop only showed this much. So you couldn't even see it. But what was the funniest part is when I got affiliate, I closed the laptop and walked away from it for 6 months just because it was like, eh. And then COVID happened, and I got bored. And then I picked it back up because I wanted to be social. But the whole point of that is I bring it up for this panel because so many people that want to be streamers, they do fall into that money trap of, I need to buy all of these things. Because there's influencers out there. They influence you that, oh, if I have that magic camera, I'm going to go viral because it's going to look really cool. And people fall into that trap, and they spend a lot of money on a hobby that they're not 100% sure that they really want to do. So things like this panel really try to emphasize on working with your skill set and what you have and working with yourself and building what you want before you go invest a ton of money.
Yeah, it's always better to invest time than money. I just replaced my camera after using it for 10 years. No, not 10 years, but it's, that doesn't make your stream any better. Yeah, it doesn't help, once you invest all this time and stuff to slowly start replacing parts. Yeah, but like I said, same camera, it didn't make a difference.
Yeah, it's like you replace things as you go. You find if you're doing art streams, you're probably going to replace a camera before you replace a microphone. If you're doing, just chatting or music streams or things like that, you're going to want to replace a microphone first. If you're trying to do like high-end games, you're going to want a better graphics card. So you really have to work with what you decide your streaming focus is before you go dump all that money in equipment. And then you come to conventions and you can kind of try to meet people, and who knows, you may find like networking and be able to get used equipment. There's so many like communities, especially ours, it's like you upgrade your microphone, so you're gonna be like, hey, does anybody else need like this microphone? It was really great for me to start with, but I've progressed, so hey, I want to sell it for cheap or even donate, because that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah, I streamed for years with a hand-me-down microphone, and like you're saying with the art stuff, the art tech side of it, so if I'm working on a Wacom or a Cintiq or something like that, that's where my major expense goes. So if I could do everything else with either free software or decent webcam, like that worked well enough for me to be able to focus on the part that was really important.
So how did you decide what you wanted to stream? Like yours was art.
Yeah, that was easy.
Yours was kind of easy. But for you two, how did you decide this is what I want to do? This is what I want to focus on?
I think it was pretty easy for me, probably just like it was for Phil. I've always played video games since I was 3 years old, and so it was very easy, being a kid that grew up playing video games on the couch with my friends next to me, and talking smack to each other and riffing on the video game the whole time. Very easy to translate that kind of behavior to streaming. You get online, you get in front of a camera, and you talk to the camera like it's your buddy on the couch next to you while you're playing video games. So it was pretty natural.
I stream horror games because that's what the community wants.
We love seeing them scared.
I hate it.
Well,
I
yeah,
hate
but did you
doing
know
it.
that before you built the community?
No, I didn't know that before. It's something that just kind of happened over the last 5 years. But yeah, they buy me games, and if they buy me a game, then I have to play it on stream. And it sucks, and I hate it.
Oh, darn. People buy you things and you have to use them? That
Well, yes,
sounds
because
awful.
if they're okay, all right. Well, I don't see you playing Outlast Trials for 3 hours. It's awful.
What was it?
When you gonna play System
Which
Shock?
one really? There was one that-
Phasmophobia.
Yeah, that
but
one really was a
this
bad
new
time.
Outlast is just it's awful. I hate it. It is. We can't talk about it because it's not 10 p.m. yet.
Yeah, that's later. That's the drinking one later. All right, so who here is a streamer? Yeah. Who here wants to be a streamer that hasn't yet? All right. So what is your bit of advice for someone, the biggest advice you can give someone just starting out, aside from don't buy all the stuff?
Well, don't buy all this stuff is definitely the big one, because I think a lot of people have this idea of what streaming is going to be by watching streamers. You know, you get on Twitch, you get on YouTube, you watch people streaming, and you're like, oh, that looks fun. That looks like it's a good time. And just like making anything else, making movies or making art, the product itself is different from the process of making the product. So don't buy the gear and just get on and try it. Start. Like the best thing to do is get on, like go make an account, get on right now, and not right now, but when
don't
you
send
get
them
home,
away.
get as soon as you can, as soon as you want to, just start. Try something out, see how it works for you, and you will learn things as you go along. And one of the biggest things is whether or not you actually want to do it.
I think consistency is important, right? Having a consistent schedule that people know that you're going to be there, not even looking at social media. Like, we go live every Tuesday at 6:30, right? And so we have people knowing, like, they're going to be there doing their show. Also, your numbers don't matter. So, like, it's going to be really hard to, like, continuously focus on, you know, how many people are in front of you.
Turn off the viewer count.
It doesn't matter. Like, if you're having fun doing it and you're doing it consistently, that's really the most important thing.
Yeah. And do something that you actually enjoy. I mean, I'm lucky that art.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Or it makes people, you're a people
ma-
pleaser. It makes people happy, so you're happy.
Don't call me out.
I'm sorry. True facts.
I'm sorry.
So I love doing art. So art was a very comfortable place for me. It's also something I genuinely enjoy doing. So that was a very easy space for me to move into. Something like the just chatting seemed a lot more daunting. So it was something that I liked and I enjoyed. And that part of it, as someone who struggles to justify time like that, like if I'm not seeing good numbers or I'm not seeing a report, I was like, no, this is good because this is still something valuable and fun to me. And being able to talk about something I am passionate about makes it very easy to get on and talk to my empty office, which is also the internet.
Yes.
Hey, I had a question because I have tried to stream in the past, but when no one responds in chat or like no one's watching, how do you keep talking so that when someone does come into your room, it's not just you silently playing a game in waiting and hoping that they start talking to you for you to respond?
So you always
Great
have to be
question.
talking.
Great question.
Always.
Great question.
Like whether people are watching you or not, you have to be talking, because if someone pops into your stream, like, you don't want to wait for them to say something before you start talking, 'cause they'll leave. And so you really have to learn how to perfect the art of talking to a wall. Like, you just literally have to just be able to talk. And if you do not have any clue of what you want to talk about, I always say, find a list of topics. Write them down before your stream. That way you have a reference for things that you want to talk about instead of just describing what you're doing in a game. Because some people do really good with that. They're very good at walking through what they're doing, but otherwise, some people don't want to watch that as well because it can sound very monotonous. They're like, oh, I can see that you're walking into a room. You don't have to be, yeah, I'm walking into a room. I'm going to open this box. You kind of want to be a little more chatty, but I talk to my cat. You know, we've also said that you get like a little googly eyes on your microphone, or just something for you to focus on that you're talking to. And you just literally have conversations with yourself until there's people to interact with. Because also with Twitch, people can go back and look at your VODs of your stream. So they may not watch you live, but they're going to go back and look at those. And if you're not interacting with chat in a way, there's nothing for anybody to watch.
Yeah, I think you said a great point there. It's you can narrate what you're doing, and that is sufficient for a lot of different things. Like arts and crafts, drawing, right? People might not understand what you're doing or how you're doing it, and you can explain it to them. For things like video games, yeah, like people can see what you're doing in the game. So narrating step by step what you're doing is,
Well, it all depends.
but what people can't necessarily see is your decision-making process. Why are you doing the things that you're doing? So you'll see a lot of the streamers get on there and narrate, like, especially they're playing puzzle games, they're playing games with
TCGs.
with moral decisions, stuff like that. They reason through it on stream out loud. They think out loud about the decisions that they're making, and that can help. You just think out loud. A lot of people don't have an internal monologue. If you don't, just have an external one. It's fine.
That's what our friend Chonky does. He streams Magic the Gathering, right? And so he'll explain to his viewers, and he also posts it on YouTube at the end. So he doesn't know when these people are going to consume his content, but he'll go through, his deck and why he's going to play each game and what he's probably expecting the other player to counter with. But he's really good at analyzing the board and what's going on, and then also keeping that conversation as the other players going through their cards and playing their game.
Yeah, I know when I first started and was very nervous about it, I had a friend of mine who I was comfortable talking to, I had them come on voice chat. So they weren't a part of the stream other than you could hear their voice, but it was someone for me to talk to. And even that little bit of getting used to having the conversation going while I was drawing felt very similar to talking to people while I'm drawing at Comic-Cons and behind Artist Alley table. And so that connection helped me because it's like, it's just, I'm kind of, again, just narrating what I'm doing. And for me, I would struggle with the meandering because my brain meanders. So having a set like, hey, today I'm going to draw this. This is why I'm working on this thing. This is what this is for. This is an inspiration thing. Or if I get distracted, like, oh, hey, here's a cool thing that I did. Not that that ever happens because I'm super focused all the time. But that type of setting an outline for myself that I could follow gave me a place if I got stuck or if there wasn't anybody in chat to interact with.
Okay, what are your guys' favorite platforms that you have used to help build up your channel?
Platforms?
To build up the channel or to stream from?
Just stream
Okay.
I found the easiest to use was Twitch.
Twitch is the easiest.
Very intuitive. It can be difficult to break into on Twitch.
Yes.
It's a very saturated platform, but for just learning how to do it, it's absolutely super intuitive, very user friendly as far as all the streaming platforms go.
And the new TikTok Studio stuff really has a lot of beginner stuff on how to set up your stream, how to go from the beginning. Twitch has really worked with streamlining that process over the last year and a half or so to get that to be a lot more user-friendly from a person who's never streamed before. And it was actually a funny story was they actually started, because we went to Twitch headquarters last year to do some work with the community meetups, and they were actually telling us that during COVID and post-COVID, the reason why they did the TikTok Studio to be a lot more basic was a lot of the celebrities had a problem setting up their Twitch accounts because they didn't know how to use it. And they wanted to interact with their fans, so they were having to have people walk them through how to do it. So they decided that was that kick for them to be like, oh, let's make this a lot more
No, Kick is
simple.
a different one. I will say, though, with YouTube, they will save your VODs forever, which has been super helpful. Because with the D&D show, we simulcast to both Twitch and YouTube. And sometimes we have recording issues because everybody records their own, voices and lines, and then we edit the show together. But sometimes somebody's audio is messed up. So if it's like a month and a half ago, that audio is lost. But I can grab the VOD from YouTube because it's always there, right? So I do like that about YouTube a lot. And then it depends on what you're going to do with the content, right? If you're going to take your content and cut it up into other content like TikToks or shorts or anything like that, you always have that VOD sitting there to, knowing that it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I think barrier to entry wise, Twitch is the easiest to
It
just
is.
get going on. And then figuring out where you like to live after that. That's a nice part where I'm much more comfortable recording on Twitch and then moving it to YouTube. I don't like making stuff for TikTok as much, just because for me, if I'm going to set up and I'm going to do all of the art and film a time lapse or something, I struggle to then migrate all of that into short form video content. So I like the ease of Twitch. I like it to be easy because the art is plenty time consuming.
It's not that hard.
No, it's super easy.
No. I could do it. I just choose not to.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, so hi. Two questions. The first one, I just started like 6 years ago doing Twitch, and I did it just for fun, and I got to affiliate at that point and everything, but I just stopped because I didn't have my computer, it just broke up. So I'm now starting again, but I'm starting on TikTok. I'm doing TikTok Live because I think it's the most easiest right now for people that they don't know. It will be more easy for people, I think, to approach you than in Twitch. But how do we? The first question is, how do we get, that comfort zone? Because now in TikTok I don't have that comfort zone anymore. In Twitch it was like, okay, that's fine. And the second is, on streaming platforms, it's often said that women who highlight their appearance gain followers faster than men who focus mainly on gameplays. Do you think this is true, or is just a perception? And what can creators do to overcome that?
Big question. Okay. No, it's good. So what kind? I'm sorry. Follow you as you walk across the room. What kind of? Shut up. Squirrel.
So I do feel like TikTok has a lot more discoverability than Twitch does, because TikTok tends to throw your content out to people that already like what you're doing. Because I do a lot of TikTok content now, because it's just small form content for me is a lot easier than Twitch currently. So I feel like it does put stuff out as far as the female perception. So I do adult content too. So there is that weird like line that I straddle over using that and not. So my Twitch channel has become like my little gremlin channel, where like I wear my PJs and I'm comfortable and I'm just relaxing. I try not to have that part focus on my body. I want it to be my talking, my gameplay. If they're going to do that, then that's a different platform. So you really kind of have to figure out what direction you want to take with your content. And if you do want to do that, there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like if you do kind of focus on the makeup and the being very feminine, it's something that people are going to have that expectation of for you to continue. And that, unfortunately, if you decide you don't want to do that, you do lose followers, because I did.
What kind of content do you currently make?
Right now,
Playing games? Yeah. So, you were saying you were comfortable on Twitch. Was there something about the Twitch community or the games that you were playing that added to that comfort and made it feel like home?
Because on Twitch I was just chatting.
Okay.
Just chatting. Because I didn't have, like, my computer won't run the games. It was just chatting, period.
Okay.
Now I have a computer and I can play any game that I want to, but it's difficult getting there.
Okay, I was gonna say, because I think that enjoyment that you had, I think that's the thing that people connect with, and someone enjoying it. So whether they're watching you play or not, like that same thing that you were doing on Twitch, I think I truly believe that people connect to the person themselves, and as you're excited about that, and I think that goes into how you choose to present yourself online too. And I in some of the students that I talk to and all that, when I talk about presentation, whether it's at Comic-Con or online, I look at that very much as a performance. I'm here, I'm putting on my makeup, I'm stepping into the role of performing because I want to give a good show. I want to entertain people, I want to have fun, and I want to enjoy it. So I am an exaggerated version, but I don't have to be that way all the time, and I can step away from that when I'm not on camera. And that was a nice separation for me in being able to keep personal parts of my life personal, but also still feeling like I was making something worthwhile and something fun. And I think at the end of the day, with that, you get to absolutely control it. Nobody else who is in your chat or in your Discord or any of that gets to tell you how to be or any of that, and your comfort matters more than any of those other things. So if you're happy and you like doing it, that's the most important part.
It's also your choice to turn the camera on. One of my favorite No, I'm serious. One of my favorite streamers, Taxlug, she does cozy games and she does she does Earthbound. She'll just play it over and over again. But there's some days where she'll keep her cam on, and some days I'm just not feeling it today, and so she'll stream without her camera on because that's just her. But that's her energy and her passion for these little cozy games and Earthbound. It's really what has brought me into her community. So
there are a lot of men on the internet that will tell women you're only successful because you're a cute girl for no other reason, and I guarantee you not a single one of them is coming from a place of wanting to constructively criticize you to make you a better content creator. Okay, they're all they're not trying to help you. They're bitter and they're mean. They're salty, and they don't get to pressure you into doing something you don't feel like doing. If you don't feel comfortable doing a certain thing, don't do it because you think it will be popular. Because if you have a rock in your shoe, you don't just keep walking on it because the rock's never going to soften up. It's going to eat through your foot. It's going to get worse, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
So a lot of people are coming at it from a single streamer, like solo streamer type perspective. I'd love to hear your thoughts on if you have interest in starting some sort of stream with a group of people. What are kind of the things to watch out for, or the ways to approach it to make it sustainable and not end up in that place where someone starts letting you down or becomes unreliable, or if the group kind of collection has a different vision and starts becoming a sort of point of contention, and generally how to approach starting some sort of stream with a group of people.
You
Yeah,
two
that's
are
y'all.
a group right now.
That is
you
y'all.
Doodle Crew.
I know. Well, I doodle crew too. But
Oh, well, all right. Oh, that's right.
I'm all by my lonesome, so you guys got this one.
Yeah, Botched is a 4-person show. We've got 3 people up in the studio in Gettysburg, and then Steve is down in Louisiana. And so it's not that we just decided let's just everybody get on stream together, man. We built a rapport and we built a rhythm and we have expectations that we have set up for each other. Going on with a group stream without those guidelines and railings is scary, right? Because I don't know what people are going to say, but I know what Steve's going to say, and I know that Steve's going to respect the boundaries that we set up. That's why I don't bring any guests that I don't know from the chat onto the stream, because I don't know them, and I don't know what kind of words are going to come out of their mouth. So I spend time, building this relationship with people. Kicking people off the streams, I've had to deal with that as well, because we've been around for almost 10 years now, and we've had to replace cast members, and it's not easy, and it's a lot of yelling and hurt feelings. But at the end of the day, it wasn't progressing the show the way I wanted it to progress. And so once we got off cams and stepped away, we all had a conversation to decide to move on from some people. And it was a long night of yelling, but it's made our content better because everybody's now pulling their weight. I just had to get through the fact that I'm going to be a villain in somebody's story, and I can't control that. But everybody, you're a villain in somebody's story out there, and you can't control that. So that's what we had to go through.
Yeah, it can be very tough, especially when you start a stream with your friends, and then your friends start letting you down because you've set up these expectations for everybody. You're meeting the expectations, and they're not. But I think an important thing to remember is when that happens, y'all all made an agreement together, and they decided to not honor that agreement first. So while you might have a tough decision, and it doesn't feel good to cut friends loose, it feels very bad. It's very hard. You might have to tell yourself, I'm the villain in somebody's story, but somebody else had their villain arc before you even did that.
True, but I mean, it's not like we're, in my opinion, it wasn't just we woke up one day and cut somebody loose, right? We've had talks about it, and we've given them, heads up, like, hey man, we really need a little bit more help in pulling your weight over here. and it was about a year, right? So our content suffered for a year because I wasn't ready to have that conversation.
No, I think kind of like setting up an art contract for me, it was establishing a social contract beforehand. And I knew that the project, so when I started Doodle Crew, the project was, I want to hang out in an art studio with my friends. It's going to be a virtual art studio, but I want that connection. But I also understood that this was my thing that I was asking others to participate with me on. So the expectation of, nope, I will handle the streaming side of it. I will handle this part. I just need you to show up and draw with me for a couple of hours. So that expectation was very easy because we were less all equal collaborators, and it was more kind of bringing guests on to talk. But because I knew scheduling was going to be an issue, because we're all professional artists, I made the show a rotating cast so that we could fill that issue. And I played enough D&D stuff where like scheduling is the biggest bad guy there is. It's the thing that kills everything, whether it's creative or TTRPG or any of that. So
No, everybody's got time.
so much time. I'm drowning in free time. But that made it really nice because then I could set out the schedule of it and people could find places when it fit in and when it worked. But it also then pushed to why we did seasons the way we did, because it gave it a beginning and an end. And that was a very clear expectation of what I was asking for my friends. And I think another part of that, whether you're doing live play together or the art stuff that I'm doing, was that I wanted them to be able to trust in me that I was going to take care of them. I was asking people to come on and stream with me who weren't natural streamers. And I wanted them to know, I was like, hey, if you're uncomfortable, if it goes bad, if you're not loving it, you don't have to stay, you don't have to do it again. Here are all the ways to contact me while we're on stream, while we're live. If it goes wrong, we will pull the plug, and I will protect you first over anything else. So I wanted to make it as easy and comfortable of a streaming experience so that we could build that trust, and there was that cushion that was like, no, we got you. And I think that's why I then enjoy collaborating with other people who do big group projects, because there's a trust there of like, if a troll shows up in chat, that's why you have moderators. You have this inherent trust of the people that you're working with on stream that you'll take care of each other.
And then from a video game side, like a lot of people want to stream, like I play WoW. So you obviously have guilds, you do progression, you do all of these things. So you have to have that expectation with whatever guild you're in. Are they okay being on your stream? Are they okay being heard? Because if you're just talking to your guild, your stream's only hearing one side. So that you need to make sure that those people are okay with being on your stream. You also have to be aware that your stream is still kind of going to be on the hook for anything that they say. And that those are decisions that you have to make for your, because if they start having inappropriate conversation in guild chat, while you're raiding, you guys are going to be quick on that mute button, or, you're going to jeopardize your content and your stream. And that's kind of a balance that you have to make with whatever type of content you're going to do.
Hello, long-time listener, first-time caller here. I was curious about, I know we've talked a lot about building brands previously, but when you're streaming a bunch of different things, so Phaedra, I know you're in a bunch of different avenues. Steve, I know you do your personal stuff, Phil too, and then you have Botched. Swan, to me, you are the most, this is not in offense to anyone else, but the most unified, if I know anything, I know it's a swan named Emily all across the internet. How do you balance, and this is for anyone, but how do you balance different horror stream with Botched with whatever other content you might want to throw in there? How do you balance the Doodle and Loodle crew, under your own personal brand, staying consistent so that your audience knows where to find you, but also what they're finding?
Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was very lucky. A Swan Named Emily was something I came up with in college. So I got lucky with an easy name, so it worked out well for branding. But the art part of it was.
And you're part bird, so.
I'm part bird. Yeah. Yes. So that part was easy, and in a way, the focus was always art. But what I like about it is, you can come to my page, you can see all my content, you can do that. Each individual project has its own name and its own branding, and that helps me keep them separate a lot. And it's also where I choose to talk about them. So as was mentioned, so we have Doodle Crew, which is, let's say PG-13. It's all ages. Like it's fun. It's silly. It's art. It's what you would get walking around Artist Alley. And we have Loodle Crew, which is a very hard 18+ thing. So I don't talk about that in my daily streams. I don't share a ton of that stuff online. But there is always the, hey, if you are curious about that, here are ways to find out more. But I do try and keep them very separate and keep their branding very separate. I like what we've been working towards, because we all do so many different projects, is collecting them under a network and having that, so then the network is a place that you can go and search for all of those different projects and kind of branch them off that way. With other TTR. So if you want to look up Airtime for Nonsense, that's where you can find all the other projects I'm on. airtimefornonsense.com, a lovely website designed by a friend. Huh? No, I'm doing it now. I'm a rebel.
I'm a rebel, Dottie.
I'm a rebel. But that's really, really nice. And it's being very specific about where I'm doing my promotion, where I'm trying to interact on different things. If I'm coming into a D&D group, I want to talk about my D&D stuff. If you ask more then I like to share more then, but it's the being specific about the community that I'm interacting with that thing that we both share.
I keep everything separated, and I have like 14 different Twitch accounts. So mostly Botched has its own Twitch page and different avenues. And if we're not going to stream on Tuesday, and if there's only one of us that wants to still stream, they got to do it on their personal page, right? If 2 out of the 4 want to stream, then we can talk about bringing it on to Botched. But I'll never solo stream on that. But for Bromigos, it's on its own, not RSS feed, but different Twitch channel, because that's the Bromigos. So that's how I manage everything. Just keeping everything separate and locked up in their own little houses.
I find it really easy because I make dirty jokes on everything I make.
Yeah, because that's the thing, right? I had Nook's Tavern, which was an Animal Crossing podcast, and that audience is completely different from the hooligans over at Botched, right? It's a family friendly. We never cursed on it. We're just doing a weekly Animal Crossing show, right? So that's why I kind of keep everything gated across the board.
I mean, I try to keep the adult stuff off of Twitch, obviously, because you don't really have a choice. But that's also, any of those references are part of my banned words list, so it can't even come up in my Twitch streams. My TikTok tends to be more like mental health and relationship type stuff, and I'm all over the place, but every platform kind of has its little thing that I work with within that platform. And I feel like that kind of helps me keep things separate, and that's what I want to focus on, and that's what I'm going to do. And if I'm going to do this, it's going to go here. And it kind of helps me keep things in little boxes. But there is overlap here and there, especially on Instagram, because I decided I didn't want like 5 different Instagrams. So my Instagram is this is all of it in one spot, and you're just going to have to deal with the mess that is in my head. And it seems to work out for me for now.
Hello. I've recently started learning how to play D&D and running my own games and whatnot, especially at this convention.
Nice.
And what I've been hearing a lot of is I've been playing D&D since 1986, and I just was wondering if you had any advice for learning how to speak with authority or running your own games for a community where people have been doing this longer than you've been alive.
Go for it. Okay. I'm the issue here. Yeah.
I mean, my kid's going through that right now because she's 11 and she loves to play D&D. Like, she just joined the D&D club at her middle school, and they're actually teaching them how to run the games and all of that stuff because they all want to play. But it's like, she's like, no, I want to make up the stories. I want to do that. And I think it's like really walking through her. The teacher that does it. I need to actually find out what they are, but there's a couple YouTube channels that actually kind of walk you through how to set up these games and be confident in what you're talking about. And they're geared towards, children, but I feel like that still helps adults in a way because it kind of breaks it down in a way easier way to understand, because lifetime players sometimes tend to use the big words. And you're like, what are you talking about?
It's a wealth of knowledge that's hard to turn off. It's one of my favorite stories. So I didn't start playing D&D until college, and I was very much I got dragged along to a game, and they're like, yeah, you'll figure it out. And I'm like, okay. And so in going through all of that and not being an improv person, I was like, okay, go to open the door, and like the whole table gasped. And I was like, uh-oh, well, I think I sense I've done something wrong. It's like, we got to check for traps. And I was like, do you? Is that a thing that we do? And so that was a hard thing because I was the very, very novice player at a whole table of very experienced players. And I will say, I never got comfortable in that space. And part of that was my own insecurity, but I felt like I was constantly asking too many questions and slowing them down from the game that they wanted to play. So us separating from that ended up being a good thing. From the kids side of it, I love that so many libraries are now running D&D for ages, and they're doing a ton of that stuff. And so that's a super fun thing. As far as the learning it and finding a space, I've been very lucky to play with a lot of different groups of D&D players, and it took me a few different times of playing with different groups to figure out the style of play that I like. And so because I didn't grow up reading the books or even read the books now, I just don't learn them. I just don't read them.
Spellcasters are hard.
I know, but I still keep playing them. I don't know. I'm a monster. But then, so you have something like D&D Beyond or Roll20, where a lot of those then, when you click on the thing, it tells you what it does. And so that started helping me streamlining. But it meant I was able to start to find groups that played the way that I wanted to play D&D.
That's it. Right there.
And that was the one. So I like the storytelling. I like the rule of cool. I like okay, I'm going to explain this to you, and the person who then knows all that stuff, I'm like, so how would I actually do this? And I do, in respect to them, I do try and take notes. I do try and learn. I try not to go back to the same people every time and be like, can you build me a character again? Because I didn't listen. So it is, but it is that kind of like, you're allowed to not fit into the vibe of every D&D game. That's okay. And like, I was really worried because I felt like that was a me failing thing.
Nope.
But I was like, no, I play
your people.
Yeah. And so
Right.
that's a big part of it.
And if someone tells me they played D&D since 1986, I don't care. That sounds like some gatekeeping stuff. Like, I don't care about that. I'm probably going to read the vibes off him that, like, we're not going to get along when we play this game because I'm going to be a trash goblin and you're going to hate everything that I'm going to do. So
I think you can find people that can say, I've been playing D&D since 1986, and I'm so glad you're here at the table with me, learning. Just as easily as you can find people that say, I've been playing D&D since 1986, and you're doing it wrong. There's no wrong way to have fun as long as everybody's comfortable and everybody everybody else is having fun too, because it's a group, right? So make sure if you're running a game, you run in a game. Make sure, session 0 is super, super helpful. What do y'all want out of this game? What do y'all want to do? How do y'all want this to work? Here's what I want. Here's how I want to run my game. Everybody wants a little bit of something different, but if you find your people, like they said, y'all can work out compromises, okay?
Hi there, guys. I do VR streaming and I also do fitness as well on my Twitch and my Kick. I used to stream on YouTube, but just with the multi-streaming on Streamlabs, it just like Streamlabs made it harder to do YouTube with all the Twitch and Kick stuff, and the fact that it was unable to connect to any broadcasts like YouTube-wise. Anyway, the point is, so with all the different time zones for my viewers, like I'm trying to figure out what time of day would be best to stream like fitness and VR stuff, because right now I'm doing just night streams, but I want to start doing more morning streams for my fitness and then do VR streams at night. And both my questions are recommendation questions. So for like VR and fitness, like is there any like specific time of day that y'all recommend? And the second question is dang it, I'm brain farting. Oh my lord.
That's okay. Hey, how about we answer the first one when you think of the second one, and we'll circle back around.
Okay.
I'll say, so for your fitness stuff, who are you trying to appeal to? Do you want people to like catch them while they're up in the morning getting ready before they go to work, so rather than going to the gym before you went to work?
Yeah.
Or do you want people who are like, hey, you're at home and you're doing work, or you're work from home or something like that, and you want to work out during the day? So I think figuring out which type of person you're wanting to focus on for that part can maybe help figure out a time that might work. I mean, again, depending on where in the globe you're going, that could be a little bit trickier.
Yeah, I think the time frame in which I want to go is like early morning. So So like some people love morning streams because they love waking up early in the morning to see their favorite streamer before the day goes on, because more streamers are going to be getting on live towards like the mid afternoon and evenings, and so you want to hit that so you want to hit that kind of like that target right before it goes down. And so I'm trying to figure out kind of like that rhythm in which that time frame would be best set. And also, I just remember my second question.
Hey.
So my second question is, I'm trying to figure out how to get involved with different groups that do the same type of streaming that I do, so like VR and fitness. And I was wondering if y'all had any recommendations for any Discord groups or any friend groups that might have those opportunities to where like I could like look them up on like the Oculus, like the Meta system, or like Instagram, and just say like, hey, do you want to be a part of my stream on this date doing this thing? Like, do y'all have any recommendations for any Discord rooms or anything like that?
I tell you what, man. For our streams, if we find somebody we want to guest on Botched, we message them. Like, say if you see somebody you like on Twitch, you see, hey, I think this person would be a good fit on my stream. Send them a whisper. Send them a message. Hey, I'd like to collaborate with you. Would you like to? If they have, a lot of them have a lot of streamers put contact information. Hey, contact me here for collabs. Hey, contact me here for business inquiries, stuff like that. Send them a message. Cold call them. Hey, I want to work with you. And all the worst they can do is say no.
Yep. I mean, that's really it. Just get, we got Anthony Rapp on the show, one of the original people from Rent, and all I did was send him a message through Twitter. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go on. But there's been hundreds of other DMs that I've sent out that have gone nowhere, right? You just got to keep casting that net out.
I guess I'm just trying to find that community of people. Like, I don't know the Discord rooms or Twitter, like, message rooms to where I could, like, I guess I just need to be directed. I guess I just need to be guided in the right direction of where to go, like in the social media space of where to find these people.
Reddit.
Reddit?
I would try Reddit, really.
I keep hearing that this weekend is Reddit.
I would try it because there's a community out there for everybody, and it seems like sometimes you can find people like this on Reddit, right? Because my interests are going to be different from yours, but I have my own Reddit pages that I follow and whatnot. And those have then opened doors to Discords where we have a more free and open conversation.
Okay, thanks so much.
Yeah,
guys.
of course.
I'd say, are you active in any of like your local gyms or anything like that? Like,
I'm active in the gym that I work out at, yes.
okay, I was gonna say, I mean, that's kind of even a very casual net of just like, even if it's not, hey, do you personally want to be on a stream? It's like, hey, do you guys ever watch anybody for fitness? And that kind of like asking other people where they get stuff. Is like, do you watch anybody work out? Is there anybody you follow? And again, it's that casting the net where it can be really discouraging to get no's or not get any leads. Like, that's kind of the finding ways to follow.
Yeah.
Like find the mutual connections to where you can get that circle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, literally see me after, because a friend of mine is also super nerdy and does fitness. So I would love to connect the two of you.
Of course, and I also do VR streams, so I've been looking for more friends to do like collaborative VR streams with.
There's 100 of subreddits for VR and all that. There is. I know there is because I'm on some of them. So, yeah, go check out Reddit for the VR, and the gym thing's so smart.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll definitely connect with you after.
Yeah, please do.
Of course.
Thank you.
So, whenever you're live streaming on YouTube, do you think it's better to live stream over a streaming platform like OBS or directly onto YouTube?
I've always used software. Use OBS, use Streamlabs. Find a software that you like. I think you get a lot more customization out of it, and you can build the stream the way you want a lot better that way. I highly recommend using some broadcasting software, and not only that, you have a lot more control of testing stuff to see what it looks like, make sure everything's working before you go live.
Yeah, when I was first starting, I used OBS, right? And so what I used to do is I would have a burner Twitch account and put the key into that and have myself just stream there. So nobody's watching it, but I can check out the technical side of things. But yeah, I always use software because it allows me to be more creatively control of what the stream is actually going to look like.
And I feel like with that, I can do more prep. I am a big prep person. I want to have the scene set. I want to have my art stuff set. I want to be prepared before I go into it. And I feel like kind of, I think that's probably why I struggle with like a TikTok live, because I was like, just to click it and go live in that, I don't feel like I've done all of my steps to prepare that. I was like, no, I'm missing things. I can't just click it and go. That seems far too easy. But I also like being able to, you know, have a screen that can switch over where if I don't want to have my camera on or something, if I needed to switch to that, or even just a starting screen to kind of ease me into it. So I definitely prefer the ability to stream through.
A lot more tools to
OBS.
use, for sure.
I do have a second question.
Okay.
So, if that's the case, what's your recommendation that I do about the fact that every time I'm live streaming, like not directly onto YouTube, my stream always gets cut short for some reason?
It might be in your settings as far as like your frame rates or like how you're connecting, because sometimes you really need to look in all of those settings and make sure you do have them set to like your bandwidth, your like where you're streaming to. There's so many different settings that you can be walked through to see why you're losing or dropping your stream.
I was gonna say, is it like a drop frame where you're starting to fuzz, or does the stream actually like cut you off and take you offline?
I'll pull every once in a while whenever I'm like done with my stream. I go to OBS after to end it, and then I'll see that OBS is no longer streaming. I open up the YouTube platform and my stream is off.
Interesting.
It just automatically cuts off sometimes.
It does have some keybind, so you could maybe accidentally hitting a keybind while you're streaming too.
Check the OBS forums.
Yeah.
Are there any technical issues you have on any platform? There's forums and people willing to help you and want to help you.
I know sometimes I accidentally change my scene sometimes with a keybind. I'm like, oh man.
Sometimes my cat comes and lays on my keyboard and changes my settings in my art program. So, but I would say to your point of a dummy one, like even if you want to do it on your main account and just be like, hey, today we're testing stuff. So I'm going to test stream and have someone either in your Discord or send you a message, like have them monitor the stream and be like, nope, you're gone. And then you could be able to pinpoint in that moment, like, was I doing something on my keyboard, or was it, I mean, I had really terrible internet for a while, so sometimes my internet would just stop. So it might help you kind of maybe funnel down into what the specific problem is. But yeah, I would definitely check the settings and do that. Why are you laughing
The
at me?
cat on the internet wheel that you guys have in your village.
Yeah. Hey, we
Just-
do our best.
My cat likes to send people messages in
The
Discord
horse
all
has
the
to
time.
bring me my
so.
internet every morning.
The horse ran out of apples, so he can't bring me the internet.
All right, and this will be our last question because we will have to start wrapping things up.
Okay, I'll try to make it good.
Pressure. All the pressure.
Okay. I have so many questions.
You got this.
All right, cool. So, I have so many questions. I want to make a show. I want to make a D&D show, essentially. I've never produced. I've been on a stream or two, but I've never like done the work behind the scenes and off camera, all that. I was wondering if you could go into like the kind of stuff that goes into it.
It's the one question we're not going to answer today.
You're terrible.
No.
Coming for y'all.
What comes? It's a lot. It's a lot of little minute details that takes time to build out. I build out a lot of layouts, right? You know, we build one for each season because each season has a different theme. So we have to build everything out. It really just takes time, and it takes. I'll go and scout other people out and see what they're doing, see how their stuff looks, right? So we have an intro screen that's a 5-minute wait time, right? We have just the 4 cams for the players with names and banners and all that razzmatazz with the transfers and all that. And then we have a break screen and an end screen. So it's really time consuming, but it's for D&D, it's kind of really helpful, right? When we're streaming D&D, we don't talk to the chat, right? We don't get focused on that at all. We'll talk to them during break, but that's about it. And then are you playing all in the same place, or are you piping people in?
It'll probably be remote.
Okay,
honestly.
well that's so much easier than piping people in. So yeah, I mean, you could do it multiple ways. You can either have a single camera showing your entire table, or you can get each person their own personal camera and microphone and all that. But invest time over money is what we've been preaching all day. So I'm not trying to have you spend $1,500 on a bunch of stuff. But we can actually, I'll give you my information. We could talk later after all this. But it's all about your style and what your style of your show is going to be, and the style of your players, really. And also, we have a 100% majority on our show. So everything that we do has to be brought to the table. And if one person shuts it down, then, well, all right, it's done. So those are some boundaries and stuff that you need to talk to with the people that you're playing with. Does everybody want to stream this, or is it just a couple people? Because that's also important, because some people, aren't comfortable enough to get on the internet and have people freely talk about them in the corner there,
I think too with the group and even getting prepped for it, because you guys have been doing it so long and you have that natural trust with each other, there is also a kind of subtle understanding. So if something is starting to go sideways, you can course correct. This is the tricky thing about being live. You need to be cognizant of this is live, and even though we're improving, there's no take backsies. So with something like that, I would recommend, if you're all going to be on Zoom together, record an episode. See where the big pauses are and stuff like that before you're ever live. See if you have issues with getting stuck on thoughts or looking up spells or any of this stuff that takes it. Or if you have somebody who has a tendency to get really frustrated and use a lot of expletives or something like that. No judgments on any of your friends. I'm sure they're all very lovely. But that it'll give you an idea of how the play works, and that never has to see the light of day. And so you kind of get that practice. I'm a big proponent of that. Do some dress rehearsals, get ready before you take it live, because it's so much harder to walk that back if something spins out than trying to do that.
So smart.
I know, right? All this good information is
I guess that was the last question, but if you felt like you could talk about the things you have to overcome while you're doing it,
All right, so now we get to do the fun stuff. So with great power comes great responsibility. The Dragon Con is committed to helping the community through raising funds and providing a dollar-for-dollar match of this year's charity for National Alliance on Mental Health. You are not alone. No matter how you've been affected by mental illness, please know you're welcome here. And this is our Dragon Con charity for the year. We have this wonderful QR code if you want to donate for that charity. And Dragon Con does match all the donations, and it always goes to help a really great cause every year. Because every year is something different. And this has really been a big topic this year for everybody. It's been a rough few years for lots of people.
It's great out there, everyone.
Yeah. And now we will go down the line. Everybody can say where we can find you.
Yeah.
I'm He Who Is Steve. You can find me at He Who Is Steve on YouTube and TikTok. You can also find me at Botch Podcast in the same places. 10 o'clock tonight in the Crystal Ballroom. Me, Phil, two other guys, live show premiering our 10th season of Botched Podcast. If you're 21 or over, come have an adult beverage with us, and it is going to be a very silly time.
The last thing I'll say before I give you my name is burnout is real. Respect your boundaries. Give yourself breaks. Because if you don't give yourself breaks and you get burnout, it only gets worse. I play video games off stream because that's what I want to do on my own time. So just know that. I'm Philip D. Keating, all over the internet, Imaginary Nomad, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram with a 1, Botch Podcast, and that's it.
Yeah. Cool. I'm a swan named Emily, all across the internet. I run the Doodle Crew. All of our episodes are over on YouTube. You can catch us there. Also, check out Airtime for Nonsense for all the different things you can listen to me play. I guested on Pokemon TTRPG.
Forever? Why was there 40 episodes with you?
Because they liked me better.
I only got 2.
I know. Yeah. But also other art stuff. Once a month, I stream with the Art Corner group where we got asked by the chat if there's a gas leak in the room. So come and enjoy that chaos in the art. But all different sorts of art stuff. I also have an artist Discord of a bunch of my friends who are also Comic-Con Artist Alley stuff if you have questions about that or want to join a really cool community. But yeah, any art stuff you want to come. I'm thinking of starting back up my Friday hang out and chill and make art streams. But yeah, the DMs are open if you have other questions, if you think of other stuff. But yeah, this is super fun. Thank you.
And I'm Phaedra Black. You can find me everywhere at phaedrablack.com. I'm the only one on the internet, which is actually kind of cool. And later tonight at 11:30, we will be doing Wasted Knowledge, which is a repeat that we've done every year. Except for this year, it's going to be about sake. So we're going to do a sake ceremony and then have all kinds of fun sake. And that'll be at 11:30 over there. So you can go get drunk with them and come get drunk with me. 'Cause it's 21 and up.
Nice.
Let's go.
Have a wonderful day. And everyone, thank you for coming and hope you're having a great and safe Dragon Con.